For your roasted garlic and zucchini flatbreads, you're gonna need your flatbreads, 2 things of cream cheese, some cherry tomatoes, a zucchini, some scallions, a garlic clove. Then you have some mozzarella cheese, Italian seasoning, flour, garlic powder, and chili flakes. And then you're gonna need a tablespoon of butter, salt and pepper, and about a tablespoon of oil. I've washed and dried my zucchini, so I'm gonna go ahead and just cut this top off really fast. And then I'm gonna cut this in half lengthwise, like so. And we're just gonna put the flat side down, and we're gonna cut this into like half moons, about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch thick. You don't want it to be too thin and then they just shrivel up completely in the oven. So about like that. And I'm just gonna go ahead and do this to both sides of my. For your clove of garlic, you're just gonna take the heel end of your knife and you're gonna smash it like so that we can then peel it. And that's not smashed enough. There we go. And it's okay if it breaks to pieces, but you just wanna get that papery skin off. Like so. And then I just have a little piece of foil here. And you're just gonna drizzle it with just a little bit of oil to help it soften as it roasts, and a little bit of salt. And then we are just gonna turn this into a little garlic pouch so that oil stays in there, like so, and you can kind of rip off the extra foil. So you wanna keep that garlic and the oil in your pouch together. For my cherry tomatoes, I'm just gonna cut these right down the middle in half, like so. And I'm gonna place them into a bowl. And I'm just gonna do that with all of the cherry tomatoes. You notice that I'm cutting them from the stem part and the bottom, not in half this way. We're cutting them in half the long way. So just go ahead and do that with all of your cherry tomatoes. For our chives, I'm just gonna line these all up like so, and we're just gonna give these a good mince. Make sure you're cutting all the way through. And I'm just gonna do this with this whole bunch, and we are gonna set this aside for use later. So just do this to your whole bunch. I have my zucchini all laid out, and we're gonna go ahead and add some oil. And then we're gonna add about a teaspoon of the Italian seasoning. So I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. And then some salt and pepper. And my oven has been preheating to 450 degrees. And I've put the one of the racks onto the top shelf. And then we're just gonna give this a nice little toss all together so that both sides get coated in the Italian seasoning and the oil. Like so. Make sure that all the pieces kind of have something on it. And that they're all kind of laying in a single row so that they can all roast evenly. And then what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna take our little garlic foil packet, place that onto our pan as well. And we're gonna go ahead and put this in into the top rack of the oven. And it's gonna cook for a total of about 14 to 16 minutes. But at the like 8-minute mark, we're gonna take it out. We're gonna flip all the zucchini pieces over. To my sliced tomatoes, I'm gonna add another teaspoon of that Italian seasoning, saving the rest. Little olive oil and some salt and pepper. And then we're gonna go ahead and just toss this all together and let this just sit for a minute to allow the tomatoes to marinate and allow them to release their own juices. Just kind of do their thing. My zucchini is all roasted and I pulled off the garlic clove. I'm gonna put that back in the oven in just a minute. And I'm actually gonna add my zucchinis. And see, I just always put it on foil so that I can just pick stuff up like this. And it makes for a nice and easy cleanup. So I did cook the zucchini, for about 7 to 8 minutes on one side, and then I flipped them halfway. I'm just gonna give this a nice little stir and mix in with our tomatoes. Be gentle because your zucchinis are kind of like soft and delicate now. So you don't want them to just like turn into mashed zucchinis. So now I have my 2 flatbreads that I've put onto a sheet pan, and I've added my foil back, and these are gonna go back into the 450-degree oven on the top rack, just like the zucchini was, and bake for about 5 to 7 minutes, just until they get slightly toasted. Now we're gonna make our sauce, and we're gonna start by melting our tablespoon of butter into a pan that is over like a medium high-ish heat. And then your flour has already been measured out to 1 tablespoon. As you can see, it says, we'll focus. It says 1 tablespoon. So as soon as our butter melts, we're gonna add the tablespoon of flour, all of our garlic powder, and then the rest of that Italian seasoning. You're also gonna need a 1/2 cup of water and the cream cheese packets for this. So while that butter melts, I'm gonna grab my cream cheese and get them open. I am sorry about my dogs. I don't know why they're going crazy right now. I'm just getting my 2 packets of cream cheese ready. And as you can see, I have the 1/2 cup of water already. All right. Melted enough. I'm gonna go ahead and start to add in my flour. Just gonna sprinkle it all around. And then we're gonna add in our garlic powder and our remaining Italian seasonings. Just gonna give this all a good whisk. And we're just gonna cook this for like 30 seconds until that flour gets all absorbed. This is gonna be the white sauce that we put onto our flatbreads. All right, so now I can go ahead and add in my water. And then I'm gonna add in my cream cheese. And I'm gonna turn the heat down to a more medium low, as opposed to a medium high, so that the cream cheese just gently starts to melt and create a sauce. So this should take just a few minutes. So as my sauce was cooking, I was gonna take out my roasted garlic, but as you can see, it has turned into a big old burnt garlic piece. So I would recommend not putting it in the I mean, that is just completely and utterly burnt. I would not recommend, I would check it after your zucchini is done roasting and see if it's nice and soft by then, because this is inedible now. It will just be very, very bitter. So I'm not going to use that. Yeah, check your garlic and see if it's ready after the zucchini, because you don't want to end up with this. Even honestly, check it at the 8-minute mark or like the 7-minute mark when you go to flip your zucchini, because you don't want to end up with garlic like this. You just want it to be slightly softened. So I am going to omit this step. So my flatbreads are nice and toasted. My sauce has come together. I'm gonna go ahead and just add some salt and pepper to it. And I've turned off the heat. And then we are going to start building our flatbreads. And I have also turned on my broiler. So to make my flatbreads, I'm going to top it with some of the sauce. Like so. And then I'm going to top it with our tomatoes and roasted zucchini. You're going to want to use like half of your tomatoes and roasted zucchini. mozzarella cheese and sprinkle that on top. And then it's gonna go in under the broiler for just about a minute until the cheese melts. So you wanna watch it once you put it under the broiler because it could burn very quickly. So you're gonna do this with both flatbreads. So here is your final product. You can go ahead and cut it as you please. And then you have these chopped chives and some crushed red chili flakes that you could go ahead and garnish with. And as always, I look forward to your presentation.